Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. Yesterday, we were flooded with a whole bunch of FC27 news with the Ultimate Team trailer, Streamlined SBCs, the gallery, rewards giving more coins, and tradable packs. There is a lot to think about, but it was after the fact that we learned more about the most important changes coming to FC27 as one of EA's own took to Twitter. We're going to be splitting the video today into two separate parts. We're going to talk about FC27 and the news that we learned yesterday. Of course, a lot of you guys have looked through that already. We're not going to be detailing everything, just that at the beginning of the video, and then FC26 in the here and now with what is upcoming and what happened yesterday on Sunday in the second half of the video. EA knew what they were doing, by the way, dropping some solid content yesterday right after the FC27 trailer released. Let's talk about it all, guys. If you're excited for this one, drop a thumbs up on the video. If you're hyped for FC26 at all, drop a hype on the video and subscribe if you are new. Now, let's get into it, and not just by going through the pitch notes, because a lot of you guys have read this and understood a lot of it already, but with what Jamie FutAccountant added on top. After these pitch notes came out, he dropped a big tweet saying, "Send me your questions," and he did a Q&A on Twitter for like a number of hours, answering a whole bunch of questions. A lot of them, kind of as you'd expect, and some of the same answers that we've heard even on the interview here on the channel that we dropped yesterday, but some also very insightful things. Now, I want to just fly through here really quick because some of you guys were asking yesterday, can you do a quick synopsis of what this deep dive is saying? And I can do that. Starting off with the gallery. Basically, guys, gallery, every single card that you pack and send to the club or buy and send to the club can fit into a set. You're going to level up these cards as we go throughout the year by replacing new items and sets, and you grade these sets kind of like League SBCs in a way, but you're not actually submitting the cards because the card doesn't actually have to be in your club at the current moment to fit into the set. It just has to have been in your club at some point, but you level these up across the year and you get better rewards. It counts more if you have a first owner card versus buying one off the market, but you can buy them off the market. This is how we're going to be getting some of our holographic cards, which have two different levels, by the way. There are holographic cards that are just regular and they have that extra shine to them. And then there's holographic cards that are pristine, which have the autograph on the card, which once again, it is not an actual autograph. It is just the player's name in a stylized font. But again, that's one of my critiques of this, is that they're obviously going for the IRL collecting card type of theme here. They should have the actual player's autograph on the card and not just Bellingham written in cursive. So that is the gallery. It's going to take some getting used to, but as you see inside of this gallery, there are kind of points and there's scores for these cards. And you saw on this little screen here as well, for some of these players that were being put into this set, there was a score for each of these players. The informs have higher scores than others, and that is exactly the same score that will be used in the new Streamlined SBCs. This is probably the second biggest thing that was dropped yesterday. Each card has a score, and to complete SBCs even easier than we have it right now inside of Ultimate Team, you just have to get players into that SBC to fit the score. That's it. There's no specific rating combinations. There's no having to use 87 and 88 rated cards most of the time to do an 88 rated squad, right? You could get a SBC done for an icon pack with bronze cards, right? That was one of the things that FutAccountant was tweeting out yesterday. This tweet right here says, yes, we might release an upgrade SBC for an icon guarantee that does not have a specific item requirement, just an overall score. So yes, you could theoretically submit a higher number of lower rated items, such as bronze cards, or a lower number of higher rated items to complete the SBC. This is going to completely revolutionize the way that we do SBCs. It is a W. Now, not every SBC is going to be this way. There's still going to be the regular SBCs as well for challenge ones, but this is going to make SBCs get a lot easier. Now, also, you have some leaked amounts for how much these cards will be giving point-wise into SBCs. It goes by a rating, and it will also go by the rarity. If the card is a holographic, or if it's a pristine holographic with the signature on it, it will go for more points than others will. So this is going to be really interesting as we think about doing SBCs now. Like when we think about Footman, we think about, oh, there's a cheapest way to do the SBC, there's a solution for that. Or there's a cheapest players by rating page where we look at the cheapest 85, 6s, and 7s to get an SBC done. Well, this is going to open up a whole world of opportunities because it all depends on what you have in your club, and the market's still going to move based off of this. It might be cheaper to get some SBCs done with lower level cards, and those lower level cards could move up. It also might be cheaper to get them done with more expensive cards. Those expensive cards might move up when these different SBCs come out. So that's going to be a whole learning curve, but that's kind of the 1,000-foot view from the streamlined SBCs that were talked about a lot yesterday. Also, yesterday we learned about new evolution upgrades called pathways, and I kind of zipped past it there, but these pathways are certain evolutions that will give you more control over what specific upgrades you want. Think of one evolution but multiple different upgrades. Like the example here for Barcola is he's got one choice on this Evo, which gives him technical, left wing, dribbling, and a sprint speed boost. The other option gives him left back, defensive awareness, acceleration, and the jockey play style added to his card. So that's kind of the opportunity that a Evo can have now with the Evo pathways. And then, of course, guys, real quick, we got to talk about the evolution with changes with the Playstyles Lab. One big thing that we like right now in FC26 is, of course, being able to customize fully all the cards that fit into the Playstyle Plus and into the Playstyles Lab. That is changing in FC27, but I think it's actually changing in a good way. Right now, when you put a card into the Playstyle Plus Lab, most people just go for the most meta playstyles, and all these cards do not have unique aspects or characteristics to them. And with this change to the Playstyles Lab, having cards already have playstyles on them, this is going to kind of, as they said here, encourage players to design cards with unique characteristics, or having cards continue to have the unique characteristics on them to encourage greater diversity in both squad building and on-pitch playstyles, which this has been a common complaint in the community, especially since this Playstyles Lab has come out, and it's so true. The game has lost some of its uniqueness. The players don't really look like the players. They have become more robotic-y because everybody for their striker is doing low-driven, finesse, maybe first touch, and quick step or rapid for the playstyle pluses, right? And then the playstyle bases, you're using about the same thing as well. So I actually think that while that seems like a step backwards, I think that it is a good thing. Now, let's keep it moving because we have so much to talk about. Guys, we got to talk about token limits, all right? Tokens are, of course, going to be in FC27. It felt like FC26 was a bit of a test for that, coming again in FC27. The thing that worries me, though, is this limit discussion, because in the trailer yesterday, it showed in the token store a daily limit instead of a weekly limit, and it was 250 tokens daily. Now, I'm somebody who's been okay with 1,000 tokens per week because it gives you a week to get your tokens. 250 tokens a day, that makes me feel more FOMO and make me feel like, oh my gosh, I have to log on every day, and if I don't, then I'm cooked. Then 1,000 tokens a week. And now maybe that 250 tokens per day is more than you will really need for the week, and you won't feel that bad. Like if you don't log in for a couple days, you get a couple days where you do log in and get 250 tokens each day, and then you're good. I don't know. This whole conversation, though, is one that Jamie was tweeting about yesterday. He said the goal of these limits is to give players a satisfying stopping point each week. Foot sometimes can feel like it's asking a lot of players across the modes. We don't want players to feel like they need to play in every mode or earn every reward. By allowing players to earn tokens in the mode that they want, the intention is to give players more choice in how they play and earn, while reducing the feeling that they are missing out if they skip other modes. Man, still though, when I see 250 tokens per day, that makes me feel like I'm missing out unless I'm getting those tokens, unless the rewards that are in the store are not very expensive in terms of tokens. We will have to see. But yes, guys, tokens are continuing. But the thing that I want to talk about with tokens is rewards, because one of the biggest things that I think from a market perspective that they talked about in this pitch notes yesterday was the fact that they are going to be giving out more coins and SP after every match. Guys, SP after every match is really, really, really a big W for our progression in this game. More coins after every match is great too. They're also advertising more flexible rewards, including more coins and tradable packs. That is good because that puts coins in our hands. That's good for the market and trading. I even tweeted out yesterday, they're giving us more coins, allegedly, more tradable packs, we'll have to see how that plays out. But if that's true, we're getting that plus all these new different, holographic type of cards that are going to be rare and harder to obtain on the market, which means even better to trade with. FC27 might be a trader's dream at the beginning of the game, not to mention the new SBC, Streamlined SBC situation, where people are going to be learning as we go at the beginning of the game how to best do SBCs. And if you get that figured out, which we're going to try to do here in the channel and share that information with you guys at the beginning of FC27, we're going to make a ton of coins off of that as well. So it's looking pretty good from a market perspective so far to start FC27. And the last thing that I want to point out from the pitch notes yesterday, and again, guys, if you do want to go read through this whole document, I'll link it down below in the description. I would also highly recommend going and reading through Jamie's tweets, because we're only covering a few of them. We've got one massive one at the end to cover, the big thing that was not covered in the pitch notes, but there's a whole bunch of interesting takes in here and just a little bit of explanation expounding upon stuff that was mentioned in the pitch notes. But no, this is kind of new info. This is the last thing I want to talk about, though, the power curve. The 3 playstyle plus cap. And I think he explains it well here by giving us some more concrete percentages. Directionally, he says, our goal for the gap between base and end game items is going to be 20% smaller than it was in FC26. He says that there was a reduction from 25 to 26 by about 7%. And then there's going to be a 20% reduction in the power curve from FC26 to FC27. That's a pretty big reduction. And again, they're saying right now, and they're kind of standing on business, that 3 playstyle pluses is going to be the max next year. The playstyles at the beginning of the game are going to be less. They're kind of going to move that down. The stat upgrades are going to be lower during the year. And they're also going to structure stat upgrades, as they said, so that attackers only get boosted in attacking stats, defenders only in defending stats, so that you don't have attackers getting boosted defending. And basically, it sounds like they don't want us creating Hullet Gang cards like we could during December this last year with the silver icons being as crazy as they were. So again, here they say our intention is for the slower upgrade pace to give players more time to enjoy their items before thinking about the next upgrade. And I like this, but I already foresee the questions and the comments and even the complaining happening for all of us, probably because of what we've been used to in the past couple of years. I see this happening within the first couple of weeks of FC27. Oh my gosh, Nate, this Evo sucks. It's only giving a +1 or a +2. Oh my goodness, man. Like, this SBC is only getting a +1 pace stat from his regular card. Like, the upgrades are probably going to be even smaller on boosts for promo cards and for SBC cards and for evolutions at the beginning of the year. And we're just going to have to remind ourselves, especially in the early stage of the game, that that's kind of the new way that it's going to go, this power curve. If EA are sticking to their guns and just going to stick with 3 playstyle pluses, we're going to have to deal with those smaller boosts and be okay with that for what I think we really want in the long run. And also, one of the reasons why that is good is because we're going to have less campaigns, less promos, and that should hopefully put some value back into packing promo cards. Because right now, when you see a colorful tunnel, if you see a footies, you're like, okay, it's probably one of those fodder cards on the bottom row. You don't get that excited. Only did, like, during the 99 Spain team in packs and the road to the final cards for the 96 rated winners from those competitions early in this year, only when those cards were in packs did they feel like they were worth chasing after because they were rare. We've been talking about this a bit on the channel, but I think that is a good change, and we'll just have to see how it pans out. But I think there's going to be some growing pains, if you will, because of how small the upgrades are going to be at the start. Now, this is the last big thing. I keep bouncing back and forth here. This is the big thing that wasn't covered in the pitch notes, but everybody's talking about. Notice he says here, and this comes from a question from somebody in the community who says the deep dive didn't mention anything about rivals or champs. How are they going to work this year? I was kind of surprised not to see any mention of like any online game modes. They added a new single player live events, which is very good for those who like playing offline. Fantastic addition there, but nothing mentioned for online until this. At a high level, champs and rivals will be similar. Okay. The main changes will be, we will plan to shift a bunch of the rewards to end of match rewards, so coins and SP, which probably means we're going to be getting less coins for weekly rewards, because as they say here, they're going to be giving more tradable packs and coins, but they're going to be giving more rewards at the end of every match, so that probably means less when we go for like Wednesday rewards, or whenever FUT Champs is back to just being the weekends, like Tuesday rewards as well. And as they say here, tokens will be included, but this is what's getting people all worked up in a good way. This is a nice quality of life change. In Rivals, you will be able to see your opponent's division after each match, and after every FUT Champs match, you'll be able to see your opponent's current record. I can see it already. Like, you lose to somebody in FUT Champs, you're like, oh my gosh, that guy was so bad. How did I lose to them? And then you see their record and they're like 12-0 or something like that. Or you lose to somebody who you thought was not that good, or you beat somebody who you thought was not that good, and then you see the record. Like, that is just going to bring a level of enjoyment. I don't know, like, it's going to give answers to the question that we've had so many times in this game. Who am I playing? It also might expose matchmaking, you know? Like, imagine you're playing Division Rivals and you're in Division 2 like me, and you play somebody and it says they're in Elite Division. You're like, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? So that might be one of these things here that we end up finding out from this quality of life change. When matchmaking is bugged, we will know, and we will see it for sure if there is any sort of problem. And there's going to be a lot of hilarious moments this year. I can already see it happening from being able to see this information. So that is one of the biggest things that was not in the pitch notes that came out yesterday, and I'm actually a fan of that. So overall, with all of these pitch notes and all of this stuff that we have learned, as I tweeted out yesterday, like, there are some exciting things for sure that have been talked about here. There are some things that also don't make me that excited. And I think overall the feeling, like I tweeted out, is the feeling that I get is like I'm just slightly underwhelmed, because there wasn't anything that made me just go, like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, the craziest thing I think I just got excited about was being able to see the champs and the Rivals records after the game. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for the gallery. I love card collecting. I think that's pretty cool. As I said in this tweet here, I think that the gallery actually brings a bunch of value back to the menu grind of opening packs and sending everything to your club, because that can help level up your gallery and get you some really good rewards. So I like that. I like the Streamlined SBCs. Again, I think that's pretty cool. But again, there's nothing that's just like a new feature that makes me go, wow, that's some great innovation. You know what I'm saying? So I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts down below. And we'll continue to discuss this stuff and think about it, because it takes some time to digest all of this information that we have just learned. It takes some time to figure it out and how we think we're going to see it roll forward into FC27. So we'll be taking a look at that, of course, over the next month. They did say at the bottom of those pitch notes, which once again I will link down below in the description, that there is going to be a launch update pitch notes, which is what we get every single year, like right before the game comes out. That's the wrong version of Payora. I would have taken the footies there. But we get a launch update pitch notes, which is what gives us like a huge amount of information surrounding what is going to be happening in the first couple weeks of the game. Also, there was nothing mentioned about the live service roadmap, and that was one of the things that was talked about in Vancouver, and one of the things that was leaked as well. That is a roadmap kind of showing you what promos are going to happen at what type and what time of the year, and even when they will do some bigger updates to the game, kind of like the winter updates and stuff like that. So they've already got some of those plans in place. I don't know why they didn't post that as a part of the pitch notes yesterday, because that was one of the things that we got to see in Vancouver. I don't remember everything about it, but that's one of those really interesting graphics that we're going to have to look into when it does drop. Now, that's the end of the FC27 conversation. Drop your comments down below, of course, because there's a lot to discuss there. And drop your questions as well, because based on your questions, I'll probably try to upload some shorts or some reels and try to answer some of those more specific things as we deep dive into all the FC27 changes. Now, let's get back to this game, FC26, where after EA dropped that trailer yesterday, why wouldn't they drop some good content, right? They want people to be excited. They want people to like things. And I think that's why they dropped the Footies Blueprint 2, except it doesn't take us to 99. And as you see in the description here, this is the final touches on your Masterclass Striker. So it doesn't look like we're going to go to 99 with this. You do go to 97 dribble and 98 shooting. So it is a very good Evo, and it's still, once again, free. And you take a look at FUTBA and you see like a Pogba that looks like this. You see a Ousmane Dembele with 97s and 98 stats on his card. You got a Dino there with the 98 stat. You got a Ruud Gullit looking pretty spicy as well. There are a lot of great options for this Footies Blueprint Evo. I will say, with the Footies Blueprint number 2, if you're trying to keep somebody lengthy, this is going to kill that vibe because it takes the dribbling up to 97. Actually, the Blueprint 1 might take agility up pretty high as well, and I maybe have missed that one. But, yeah, up to 96. So, no more lengthy from that. However, with that nice Evo and the fact that it is free, there was a bonus objective to go along with it. In a campaign tab yesterday, there's this Footies Evo Chain bonus. And originally, I thought that this was any Footies card that you have Evo'd, like through the Playstyles Lab, that would count for this. I just went and played in live events, like 5 games, in the lucky, what is it called? The third time lucky. Try to get Peter Crouch and some of that objective stuff done. I didn't get any progress in this with an active Footies Evolution player in my Evos. So I wonder if it actually has to be the Footies Evolution card type, or if something for me was bugged. I don't know. But these are good packs. So scoring in 15 separate matches while using a Footies Evo player will get you an 86-10, 87-3, 88-5, and a 90 times 5. So that is worth doing. But I guess let me know in the comments as well if that worked for you for a regular Footies Evo, or if it was just your Footies Blueprint. So just watch out for that one there, but that was nice. Also, one more Evo yesterday was dropped in training camp. This one's a must complete because it takes 15 minutes. Get it? It's called the perfect break. It's like a halftime boost. Max 95 does not boost the overall. It does boost agility, balance, reactions, gives a 5-star weak foot and a 5-star skill move boost. Gives a couple of small playstyles there. So if you still have a couple of 95 rated cards like I do that need a bit of a stat boost, that is a really, really good Evo right there. And again, it does not boost the overall. Now, let's go to SBCs, where the content was pretty good as well, because we got the Eusebio SBC. And he's not 99, but man, he's craftable, bro. 4 playstyle pluses, 98 pace and 98 shooting, 5-star, 5-star. Striker, right wing, left wing. The card's very good. Like, I'm literally one squad away, and I could get this done right now because it's the lone squad that I don't have done. And you know what? I just had this thought. Maybe this is why EA is not dropping exchanges, which would be a not cool thing, but maybe they're seeing how much fodder we have in our clubs, and they're like, oh, these guys have so much fodder, we don't need to drop exchanges. Well, that's because the SBCs haven't been that fantastic either, and we've just been throwing our fodder into random stuff to get it done. This is an SBC worth doing for Eusebio with the 98 pace and the 98 shooting. So I agree fully with all the thumbs up on this one. He's 574,000 coins for 12 squads. I mean, that's not too far off the price of the Young, and I think that's just as great of a card. Again, I wish he was 5 playstyle pluses and 99 rated, and if he was, he could be 1,000,000 coins. I wouldn't care. I would still craft it, but for this price still, that is a very, very good SBC. Would recommend. Also, we had Chiesi yesterday, who's pretty affordable if you're a Liverpool fan and you want to get that one done. He is 100,000 coins, and he is evolvable. Could have been a little bit cheaper, but 99 pace and Prem tax. We had an SBC Evo, the Creative Spark Evo that was dropped yesterday too. This gives a nice passing and dribbling boost. Take a look at Salah. Salah goes 97 dribble, 96 pass right there for his card. Would not recommend putting this on a player who you would like to keep lengthy, or a defender in general. This is more for an attacker or a midfielder, I would say. But if you need a passing or dribbling boost, look at that on Estevao. 97 pass, 97 dribble. That looks pretty good there. So not sure who I'm going to put that on, but that one is pretty cheap to complete just for 2 squads, and you get that done. The last SBC of note yesterday was an icon player pick, and I'm actually so bummed that this is only one time repeatable every 3 days. I thought you could do it once or twice, like more, after I did it the first time through. This is a 94 plus Greats of the Game or Footies Team 1 icon or hero pick, and right away I hit this and got it done because I was like, this is a chance at Zlatan. Unfortunately, for the 289s and the 90 rated squad, I forget who I came home with from that, but that is a nice icon pick. Would recommend, and I just wish that that was repeatable. It probably will be unlimited repeatable or multiple times repeatable per day at some point, but for right now, it is every 3 days we can do it one time. Would recommend getting that one done. But that was the content yesterday. Of course, with more SBCs and SBCs refreshing, we had our fodder movements as expected. Let me show you guys the transfer list, because I was able to sell those cards that we talked about buying yesterday. The Javi Simons, the Maguires, the Soboslais, bought for 13,000 coins. They went up and sold for 20 to 21,000 coins. Same thing should be happening today. The cards are not as low though. Like right now, Javi Simons is, I think, only like 17,000 coins, so he's not dropping as low. I would pay 17K for this today. I really would. People are going to get on. They're going to do the SBCs. This Javi Simons is probably going to go up to over 20,000 coins today. Of course, if you can get him on bid for like 15K or less, that would be ideal. Would highly recommend getting involved on any of those festival football cards, though, because that's going to be a daily pattern, right? You're going to see a daily pattern with these cards, just like, again, we saw yesterday. The spike at content up to 20K and then come back down to like 15 or so. 15, 16 is the goal. But list higher for 22 to 24 if you end up paying 17,000 coins there. The 84s did not spike as good yesterday, but if you bought these at 800, don't worry. Keep holding on. These will spike probably today, tomorrow, and then heavy on Wednesday, because Wednesday's the refresh, not Thursday like I said last week. Wednesday's the refresh of the Footies token SBCs. So I would highly recommend holding on to those if you got them, and continue to lazy list them if you want to keep trading with those 84 rated as well. Last thing to discuss market-wise, real quick, Footies cards dropped. This Payor was over 600,000 coins to start today. She's 500,000 coins now. Most of the Footies had that same sort of movement. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And if you're wanting to buy a Footies to Evo and then put in your team, I would highly recommend to wait until Wednesday at this point, since we're only 2 days away. Or at least buy the card, Evo it, and then sell it. Don't hold on to it for too long, because these will drop on Wednesday for sure. Rest of the market is doing pretty good. Ekitike still up here at 400,000 coins. A lot of the Footies Team 1 cards are moving up, and the 99 rated cards are still at the moon, and looks like some of them are now going extinct. 1.9 mil extinct for Laporte, and Kubarsi is 1.1 mil extinct. Nice. That's crazy how much those have gone up. Now, let's talk about Monday content today. Today's actually kind of a milestone day for a couple of objectives. The first of which is the daily login. If you've been keeping up with this, which surprisingly, I didn't forget any while I was in Vancouver. The daily login is over today. If you've done it every single day, it's going to be day 12. You get an 88.2 and an 89/3. I haven't claimed any of these rewards yet. I'm going to claim them all today. And also the gauntlet ends, which right now I'm hoping to go 4 in a row in the current gauntlet run that I'm in. I got to win 3 more. I won the first round, got to win 3 more, but this goes away today, so make sure you get those games in before content if you want those rewards, some Footies tokens, and some packs. And then to what actually comes out today. Guys, Mondays are usually pretty quiet for days of content, if we're being pretty honest. You know, we're expecting new player picks today because the 82 5 of 10 and the 83 1 of 5 are going away. The Footies Doppelgangers 1 with the Maldini, Eto'o, and Ibrahimovic is expiring today, but we might have another Doppelgangers SBC coming in with like Marcus Holland, Lionel Mpasi, and Hogue, or maybe Buffon instead, or maybe McAllister as well. Watch out for maybe one of those Doppelganger SBCs to be dropped today, or maybe it's a combination of those as well. And then, of course, daily evolutions. We should get something in here in Evos today. Would recommend, though, checking your Evos tab. There are a handful of Evos expiring today. The Metronome, 200,000 coin boost, but a pretty big boost up to 98, is expiring at content today. And then also a couple of Freevos. Route 1, which is a good one that gives center back position, and Flow State, which is surprising. I haven't used this enough. This is a very good one, of course, that EA didn't release for a long time and then brought it back. The Flow State and Route 1 expire today, and maybe even a reward Evo will be expiring today as well. We're going to be getting on today, getting some games in for the Gauntlet, and getting some other stuff done. I'm, at this point, just trying to get my tokens sorted, trying to finish my Evo for Rude Hullet, because that's one of the most motivating things for me right now. And then just hitting the pack grind. Like, I've got a lot of packs saved up so I can keep doing the grind, more so than if I didn't have any golds to start in the club, which, you know, we move. We'll keep ripping packs. Still chasing the high-rated cards, still chasing the Zlatan in every possible pack that I can get. I will say, guys, these 84x10s, though, and right as I say this, I get a Footies, but the 8410s, I think the community is right. Saw a bunch of people tweeting on these yesterday. They were bad. You guys were talking about it in the stream. They are not good. 8510s, must complete. 8410s, maybe don't even try to get all 20 of those done. 87x7s, must complete. 87x7s were very good for me yesterday, so would recommend opening those. Of course, we go back-to-back Footies, but it's probably going to be back-to-back dupes. Let's see. Yep, Park. Okay, Park and then Suzuki. Anyway, guys, that's going to be the video for me today. Don't want to drag this out any longer. It's already getting pretty long. But hope you guys have a great Monday. I will see you in the stream today. And if you have any questions about FC27 stuff, drop them down below in the comments. And be on the lookout for some more pieces of information and news from me related to all that we learned for FC27 yesterday. Appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for supporting. Catch you in the stream today. It's been TheFutAccountant. Have a happy Monday. Peace out.